so if you couldn't tell, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I learned about Vader Immortal the first day it was announced and could not wait to get my hands on a story involving Darth Vader. I almost bought the Oculus Quest just to play it, and I'm still saving up for college. Needless to say, I was immediately immersed into the game and mastered the hell out of the dojo as quickly as I could. I breezed through the lightsaber sections of the story after I got the combat down and started my quest in the lightsaber dojo. I like to think that on a scale of 1 to 10 on skill, I'm close to 8, 6, or 7 on a bad day. I am Necro of the Onion, your new master, and would love to share some tips and tricks to help you master the art of saber combat. I'm going to be honest with you, the combat doesn't require a lot of thinking, but there are still systems in place that require skill. Let's start with blaster deflection first. This will likely be the hardest system to get used to. The spray of the blaster bolts tend to stick to approximately the outline of your entire body and inward. The droids will fire anywhere in that area, rarely spraying outside of those boundaries. Oftentimes, they will stay in front of you in at least a 140-degree arc. So about there to about there. Now that you know the positioning, let's counter them. The main way to counter the remote droids is through angling your saber so that the bolt bounces off directly back at the droids. Kinda like holding up a mirror. But trust me, the angles do take some getting used to at first, but you'll quickly find out what works and what doesn't. Unlike Lightblade VR, the bolts here can lock onto certain parts of the map where droids and remotes can end up. This makes deflections and bouncing the bolts to separate targets much easier and less to do with dumb luck. If you master this, you'll master the rest of these droids. The second kind of enemy you will face are the low-tier saber training droids. These are the easiest of the saber droids to kill, as during the time after you block their attacks, you can slash at them once to kill them. Use wider arcs and follow through with your swings at a medium to high speed to do the most damage you can. These can attack anywhere from 2 to 4 times. They also perform either a short or medium flourish before engaging. There are 2 things different about these droids in comparison to the mid-tier and top-tier droids. The first being you can parry their attacks. This works on any and all attacks that these particular droids make. If you swing into their saber while they are attacking, you can parry and send them into the staggering state immediately. The second key feature about these droids is that the sabers do not lock. We'll cover saber locks here in a minute. Their fast swing speed in one of their animations makes them a little harder to kill, but as long as you parry those attacks when you need to, it's an easy kill. Moving on to our third enemy, the shielded remotes are the same as the training remotes above, but instead, they're shielded and do not have a startup animation. The shield can be taken out with one deflected shot, and then destroyed with a second bolt. Be quick about it though, wait too long and the shield will recharge. There's roughly a 5-second startup timer for the shields after they are destroyed. These droids also light up and shoot 3 bolts, so you have 3 tries to blast away that shield and destroy it for good. The next enemy you'll come across is a mid-tier saber droid. These are an upgraded version of the saber droids that are a little harder to take down. They are outlined with more armor and have a deeper growl when they start their attacks. These attacks cannot be parried. They will attack anywhere from 3 to 6 times per sequence. Mid-tier droids can also perform saber locks. During these, the droids will attack once and you must push their blade back to win the lock. It's not too terribly hard to do. All you really have to do is just block the attack and they immediately stagger. The next droid is a buzzsaw droid. These do not fire blaster bolts, but instead make a saw sound for a brief time and then charge toward you afterwards. You don't need to know much about these. If you slash them or hold your saber up, they split in 2. Just remember to aim. Next is a red variation of the droids. This one combines all the training remotes into one. These have shields, these have buzzsaws, they have animations, and they shoot 5 shots at a time. Well, that's a lot of damage, ain't it? It's randomized as to which one will charge with buzzsaws and which one will fire bolts. The best way to take these down is with other blaster bolts. It takes a lot to get used to, but using other bolts from other droids will help you out a lot here. 7th is... you. Sorry. 7th is our good friend the top tier saber droid. These take about 2 to 3 slashes to kill and can swing upwards of about 8 times per sequence. 8 times? That's like... more than 4. These ones also like to trip you up, so be careful and watch where their sabers move. Like the mid-tier droids, the top-tier droids can perform a saber lock with you. They're a little tougher to fight back and require you to actually push, but again, it looks badass. Their swing speed is unrivaled, so watch those sabers carefully and learn where they attack you from quickly. The last droid you will face can only spawn on wave 40. There's technically not a name for them, so I'm going to call them the Guardians. These behemoths have the strongest attack of any of the droids, but only swing about 2 to 3 times per sequence. However, they mostly swing for your legs, and they're pretty easy to kill. The best way to counter this is by turning your lightsaber upside down when you defend against them. They take about 2 to 3 slashes to kill, and 1 if you're really lucky, but boast a powerful 4 points of damage if you get hit by one of them. Now that you know what all the droids do and how to counter them, allow me to share some miscellaneous tips with you. While you are dueling with any of the saber droids, if you are fast enough after your block, you can perform a riposte and land a hit on the droid in between their attacks to do an additional point of damage to them. This speeds up dueling dramatically and really helps out a lot with the unleashed ones. All of the training remotes die on contact with your lightsaber. If the remotes spawn right in front of you, you can reach forward and slash them in two before they even shoot at you. Most of the time they end up right here when they rise from those 3 panels. Technically, you can dodge all attacks in the game. You will not get hit from the sabers or the bolts or even buzzsaws if you are careful enough, but the saber droids will not go into a staggered state. Instead, they miss and revert back to guarding. The saber droids have a specific animation when they spawn in, and until they start floating toward you, they are invulnerable to all damage. If you come across a low-tier saber droid and a training remote, the best course of action is to deflect 1 bolt into the saber droid, and then deflect the other 2 back at the remote droid. This helps out a lot, and all of the low-tier saber droids die in 1 shot. The unleashed rounds only require you to get a specific amount of kills within a given time limit. You do not have to complete it without losing health, but every other round requires you to not lose health and kill all of the droids within a specific time limit to get all 3 Imperial credits. I learned this tip the hard way, after I tried to spend an hour doing the 40th round perfectly. I'm sure it's possible. Just... When you load into a new round, it will not start until you activate your lightsaber. So that was everything I have learned first-hand experience in the Lightsaber Dojo in Vader Immortal Episode 1. This is subject to change, as Episode 2 still has yet to come out, and we still have yet to get a release date from them yet. If you learned something new or have a tip of your own, feel free to leave it in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this guide, would you consider liking the video, so I know to make more videos like this in the future? I would deeply appreciate any and all feedback you can give me. I am getting back into making videos again, and hope to release them more often, so consider subscribing to stay up to date with my/our shenanigans. Alright, that'll be it for me today, everyone. I don't have a clever way of signing off, so... yeah. Now there's a very distinct difference. We're Sean Connery now. Shut up. I said shut up. Thank you.